What up, what up, what up? We're back at it again. Episode 23, Real Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe. This is your boy, Julian. Julian, say what up to the people. We're going to come to you today, this week, with the episode because we didn't want to miss another week off. So we're doing probably a short episode, probably like 30, 40 minutes, just to kind of recap what's been going on. Mainly NBA talk, because we
All
missed a
right,
couple
I
games.
fucked up a little bit. Then nobody heard me for a second, but we're good now.
Yeah, it's all right. So I think we wanted to recap, Julian. We want to recap that Brooklyn. Was it the Brooklyn?
Brooklyn versus
game.
Bucks, Game 7.
Did you watch the game? What were your thoughts from that?
So I actually did not watch the entire game. I had family in town, but I was at the Hard Rock Casino, and we stopped off at a bar in there, and we were watching it. And man, I tell you what, the whole casino was just glued to the TV. It felt like I was almost at the game, but it was awesome. I caught into the Bucks almost choked it for a second there because Brooklyn went on a little run like there. And one of the plays that sticks out to me the most, and I don't know if you remember, and I'm like, I don't know why they did this, but they passed it into Brook Lopez, and literally Lopez just fucking threw it up in the air, like back, and got the ball knocked out. He threw it up to somebody, I think Middleton, and there was like 8 seconds left on the clock, and instead of shooting the ball and like trying to reset the clock by letting it hit the rim, he like passes it backwards, and there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I'm like, why are you passing it backwards to a guy who's covered? It's like, just throw it up there, let it hit the rim, see what happens, you kill more time. I don't know why you're going to pass it backwards to whoever was there, and then you're going to get a shot clock violation. It made no sense to me. And then that ended up setting up Brooklyn to then go on the other side of the court, and KD pulls off an amazing shot and would have won the game if he just had if he took this much more back. His big toenail was on the fucking 3-point line, and it would have won it, but ended up ruling it, which he clearly was on the line, a 2-pointer, and tied the game and sent it in the overtime. But man, could you imagine if he just had he took this little bit more back? That would have been game. But then after that, I mean, he looked like he just got gassed, and he couldn't hold anymore. He couldn't hold the team anymore. And James Harden didn't really show up, and Milwaukee ended up taking it.
Yeah. Speaking of that moment, because I did check in. I think I watched like maybe the first quarter and a half, and then I checked back in the second half of the game. And the surprising thing is about, especially all these series, like all these series have been particularly, like, they've been close. Like, there was no, everybody has, like, every team will have their run, whatever, they go off whatever 10, 12 points, but the other team always comes back, and it's always been like down to the buzzer, which has been very exciting for the playoffs. Like,
Yes,
these playoffs have been pretty good. But talking specifically about this Brooklyn game, I do remember seeing that moment where they called it up. It was like, was it under a minute? It was down to the wire, and you saw they called up that play for KD, that's what you want him to do, right? Because that's what you have.
I mean, he's the best player right now. Yeah. Like, arguably, probably the best player on the planet right now. Like, he's the superstar. Like, you give it to him, and he showed up right at the end of the game. But then, like, overtime came around, and just felt like, I mean, he was carrying the team like for 4 quarters. But it's like, damn, man, just a little bit more. You give it a little bit more.
You definitely see the fatigue, and I wonder. I'm not going to criticize him because he's a great player. He's one of the greats right now, one of the great scorers, and he rose to the occasion. As far as, like, on that particular play, I think they were down 2 points, and if he misses that shot, they lose the game.
Yep.
And obviously they were going for the win. And I was watching on Twitter, everybody's like, go for the win, go for the win. And when you have a killer like, KD, like, that's what you want. You want your guys to close. That's why you have Kyrie. And if somebody's not going, somebody else stand up.
Unless you got an open lane for the layup or something, or teardrop, like, you go for the 3.
And they're running a lot of plays through KD, which you should. A lot of ISO near the end of the games. But you can see the fatigue, and I wonder. I don't know. I didn't hear it, but one of the critiques when KD got drafted was like, "Oh, he's too weak. He doesn't do whatever. He doesn't do workouts. He doesn't do bench press or some shit." He had like one of the worst combines because he doesn't really do strength training.
Really, I did not know that. I don't remember. It's been so long ago.
I know. Now I know. This was like because on Twitter there was like bringing up old videos of like Skip Bayless doubting KD. But I wonder, if that was a factor, or if it was just, he was out there by himself. And we seen him carry, when he was playing OKC, we seen him carry a team like that. But I don't know. The fatigue was definitely a factor, and so that first shot in the fourth quarter to tie it up, that was a big spot. But then you see at the end of the game, like, just he's tired, bro. He's tired. He had nothing on his legs. I think he airballed one. And I was really it seemed like the Nets had the momentum going into that fourth quarter, that they had most of the stuff going for them as far as calls, plays, whatever, turnovers. But Bucks
Well,
won.
to me, the Bucks didn't even
Yeah.
deserve to win. Like, I don't like. To me, they like gave away the game, and I feel like they've been doing that off and on, like this whole series. Like, they showed up like those game 3 and 4, and like Giannis showed up, and they looked amazing. But then towards the end of the series, it seems like they were just like off and on and kind of up and down, and then just like kind of barely squeezing games out. But I mean, they moved on. Surprisingly, everybody's favorites to win the whole thing. Brooklyn gets knocked out second round. Kind of excited. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of glad it happened, because to me, this playoffs has been one of the most interesting, like, to me, genuinely entertaining on all levels, like, playoffs for me. Because this feels like the first time in a long time where it's like there's no guarantees of who's getting into the finals. We don't even really know who's going to win. Like, I don't even know who the favorites are. Probably the Suns, but like
Probably the Bucks, because they've been,
you think the Bucks?
The Hawks are definitely not the favorite. You think they were the favorite since the beginning of the season?
No, the
Hawks are not.
Suns.
Well, you're talking about the West. I'm talking about the East. I'm talking about the.
Oh, well, I'm talking about just like to win it all, to win the whole things. But yeah,
To win
the
the whole
East.
thing.
I mean, I hope the Hawks win. It's be great. I love an upset, man. I love upsets, and they've done nothing but do that. And I think this, like I said, this playoffs has been awesome to me. It's kind of nice not having LeBron in there. It's kind of nice, like, seeing like different and like fresh teams, and like kind of like it feels good again to see like real competition, and like you don't know who's going to do it. Like, who would have thought the Bucks would have beat the Nets, or who would have thought the Hawks would have passed the Sixers? I mean, possibly people thought that, but like, or the Clippers knocking out Utah. Like, this, the only real favorite has been the Suns, and they've been showing up. But yeah, it's been really awesome to watch. But speaking of the other team on the East, the Hawks, how did you feel about them actually finally ending Sixers' life?
Sixers, yeah. So, I'm not, a fan of 76ers, being a Heat fan. I never believed in it. I thought one of the biggest mistakes was, when Jimmy Butler came, because Jimmy Butler had that 1 year with them. How much hatred that Jimmy got. I was like, yo, that was probably your best chance at fucking winning a championship. And it shows, because the next year Jimmy came to Miami and Jimmy went to a final. So, all this process shit, man, I am not a believer. I'm tired of it. I'm done with this whole team. I'm not a fan of the 76ers. Their fans suck. Their team sucks. River sucks. Terrible team. But to talk about the game, I'm actually surprised, man. Like we talked about before, like, yo, the hottest team in the East is the goddamn Hawks. Like,
they're hot, bro. Trae Young's hot, bro.
First time in the playoffs in fucking forever. They beat the Knicks, which is whatever. The Knicks were a hot team too. I'll give them their props, because the Knicks had a good year this year.
But they smoked the Knicks. They smoked them.
Yeah, all that fuck you, Trae. They even did that. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the Hawks 76ers. Hottest team in the East, man. And Trae Young, like, this guy, he's growing up like right before our eyes, dog. He's becoming a guy that, like, you're gonna have to fear.
He's
like,
a dude.
He's laying down the tracks to, like, yo, I'm gonna be around for a while. I'm the fucking real deal. This ain't no fake shit. Like, I'll ice you out. Like that. That's kind of the reputation he's building now. That's kind of the legend he's building. Atlanta played good, man. I think they played better team basketball. Obviously, fucking the conversation has been Ben Simmons. I'm looking at a stat now. I follow Tom Haberstroh. Tom Haberstroh, he follows ESPN. He's a guy down here in Miami. Here's Ben Simmons' fourth quarters. Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter. Game 1, 2 of 2. He made 2. He shot twice, made 2. Game 2, 0 of 0. Game 3, 1 of 1. Game 4, 0 of 0. Game 5, 0 of 0. Game 6, 0 of 0. Game 7, 0 of 0. So that's his stats for fourth quarter.
Bro, this is what I was talking about, man. This is what I was talking about. Ben Simmons is so fucking overrated.
almost already played. I'm tired of people talking about. Let's end the conversation on Ben Simmons. Is he a good? He's a above. I would call him at best an above average player. But get the fuck out of here with Ben Simmons. Stop the conversation. He's done.
He's getting paid what, like $35 million a year to do jack shit, to do nothing.
I looked at his contract, $177 million for the next till 2004, 2025.
But how did he even earn that, bro? Like, I don't get it. How did he? What did they see in him? He has not shown anything. He might have a couple flashy games in the regular season, but not once has he ever showed up in the playoffs, especially in the fourth quarter when it matters. And the dude's just like, he seems like he has no passion. His face always looks bland as fuck. Like, bro, like
the stats I just showed you, right? He's like, and he's like, out of 7 games, he shot 3 times and made three field goals. I saw another thing on Twitter the other day. They're saying that Udonis Haslem shot at a higher clip, even though Udonis Haslem literally played for 2 minutes and shot at a higher clip than fucking Ben Simmons, who's been playing all year long in this fucking series. What a waste of money. I think he got paid $30 million this year, 33 next year, 35, 37, and then like 40 million his last year.
He's fucking trash, dude.
Let's stop the conversation. But Ben Simmons is terrible. At best, he's an above average player. He is not an elite player. He's not a closer. If he's your second best option on the team, your team is fucking terrible.
To me, at best, he's an average player.
If he's your 4th or 5th option to score, as a player, you got a decent team. If he's your second option, he's your number 2, bro. You're not winning shit. I'm done with it. I'm done with Ben Simmons. I'm done with Embiid. Let that motherfucker go cry again to his girlfriend. I'm done with the 76ers. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll give Embiid credit. Embiid's good, and he did show up in a few games this series. But Ben Simmons is fucking trash. He will never be a superstar. He's just not good. He doesn't have the drive or the motivation. And you're going against a Hawks team that, I was talking about like a couple episodes ago, is like how like the Lakers and like Kobe Bryant had like that killer instinct, like at all costs, like you're going hard. And I see that in Trae Young, man. I see that in Trae Young, and that Hawks team is just that killer instinct where you're going. Like, it don't matter, they were down by 25 points and they just kept on grinding. They kept on going, man. And that's why it's like, obviously to me, the Bucks are the favorite to win, but man, I would not be surprised if they push it to a game 6 or 7. Like, they're going to get a couple out of Milwaukee. The only problem, this is going to lean more into just predictions, but like the only problem that the Hawks are going to face is that they don't really have anybody to cover Giannis, and that's going to be a big problem. That's a real big problem.
Who has that? I mean, Miami had Bam, but who has? That kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing like with KD. I mean, they put PJ Tucker on KD, but KD is longer, more longer, taller than PJ Tucker when they
Then again, you had Embiid, and they didn't really have anybody cover Embiid, and they still won the series. Yeah. They didn't have anybody to cover Julius Randle. They still won the series. So
while I'm bashing the 76ers, I do that. I bash the 76ers to give props to fucking Atlanta. Atlanta's I think they're a quicker team. They are smaller. They're a quicker team. They play team basketball better, and Trae Young is just he's on fucking fire right now. Ice cold and clutch situations, clutch threes. They're down fucking 20 points the other game 6, and he fucking come back. Bro, this guy is a killer.
It's that mentality, bro. It's that mentality.
A Damian Lillard type. He'll pull up from anywhere. Don't rule him out. That's kind of the reputation the legend that he's building right now. So shout out to the Hawks, hottest team in the fucking East. I'm kind of rooting for them. I like rooting for the underdog. So I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm rooting for the Hawks. I'm not really a Hawks fan, but Trae Young is a guy that I want to root for right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't care about the Bucks, honestly. Atlanta, close proximity where I grew up, so whatever. I'll root for them, and I like their killer mentality team. I like who they are, like their culture and stuff. Like, it's just kind of like, no matter what, like they're gonna, you're gonna get all they got from them. Like, that they're gonna try their heart out, and there's not very many teams that are like that has players like that nowadays in the NBA, and I like to see that. And it's, man, like I said, I think they could push it to game 6 or 7. I don't know if they're gonna win it, but I do think maybe they have a shot. I don't think it's like completely ruled out. I mean, the way like the Bucks look scary. Like the Bucks looks they didn't look so scary in some of those games. They looked like a beatable team in some of those games against Brooklyn. Granted, Brooklyn has more firepower, but
No.
I mean, Kyrie was out half the series, and then James Harden felt like he was non-existent. So
Yeah, injured
you
James
know,
Harden. I mean, you got to give him. He's injured, so
yeah,
I don't think
he's
he's
still
playing.
non-existent, but
He's out
that's the
there. I
thing.
mean, yeah, he's out there, but you kind of gotta. You gotta. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's banged up, and like I think we said. I made the point last week. It was like, yo, the Hawks are like one of the healthiest teams. If you think about it, one of the healthiest teams
Hmm.
in this postseason. Everybody's been banged up, injured. Star players gone. We can talk about the next game. That we just had with the Suns.
I
But
will say the Suns have been the Suns have been a healthy team. I mean, obviously they don't have Chris Paul, but that's not because he got injured or anything. That's just because of other things. But I mean, they've been pretty healthy for the most part.
So you want to talk about the other game? What are we going to?
Yeah,
I
let's
think
go.
it's for the Hawks.
The Suns are up 2-0.
Yeah, Suns Clippers.
And Chris Paul is expected to be back for game 3, which is going to be really interesting. I don't know if you saw the game last night, but Paul George completely choked his free throws after having after having actually a pretty good, to Paul George's credit, he's actually been kind of balling since Kawhi left. He's been putting up points. He's been averaging in the high 20s, and he's put up 30 plus points in a lot of games, and he's actually been balling. And they should have won that game if he didn't miss those 2 free throws, because that was huge. I mean, then you're forcing the Suns to put up 3, which who knows if they would have done that, But yeah, and now they're getting Chris Paul back, man. It's going to be hard. I don't know how that was their chance to win it right there, to tie it up 1-1. But now with Chris Paul back, that's a new that's another energy that's being added to that Suns team that's already hot. That guy Payne, I can't remember his first name, but he showed up.
He went off. I don't know who he is, where he came from. But this guy fucking went off.
Yeah, he showed up, man. That's a next man up. Chris Paul's done. Next man up. And
Guyton is the guy they called the last play on that alley oop that Jake Crowder threw up.
Mm-hmm.
Guyton also had a good game too.
Man. Next player up, and he balled out and he showed up, and then obviously Devin Booker did what he did. And man, the Suns are a dangerous team, man. They got depth. Aiden, he played pretty well. They're a good team, dude. They're good. There's no way the Clippers are doing now without Kawhi. Unless you get like a crazy performance out of Paul George, which the odds of that happening are pretty slim. They have to win at home. I think it tonight? No, tomorrow. They have to win at home tomorrow. But if they don't, man, it's gonna be tough. And now with Chris Paul back, now you have this guy Payne who's shown up out of nowhere. That's another weapon. Like, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, look, they swept the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
With the MVP, man, and they swept them. And
I'll say that it was pretty exciting the whole game. Like I said, close game. Not really anybody pulling away, or where I felt like it always felt like either one of these teams could go off. But it comes down to those final plays. A lot of it, I would give props to the coach. I forget the coach's name. I think he's
that's a good coach, man.
Coach. Yeah.
That's what I was saying, man. Coaching makes a big deal. It's a big deal, man.
Also on that play when they called the alley oop to Ayton, right? There's a call time. It was a referee's timeout, and obviously there was a big controversy because it took people say it took 35 minutes just to play the last 2 minutes of the game. But they called timeout to see if see how many seconds and see whatever. But then the coach was paying attention, the Suns coach, because he was like, "Yo, I think they took off Batum. They took off Batum off the floor, but I think by the rules, Batum had to stay on." And the coach, thank God you have a coach that's fucking paying attention to who was on the floor, because when they're calling plays and scurries and trying to do whatever, he's like, "Yo, Batum needs to be on the floor. He's off the fucking floor right now." And so, shout out to the Suns coach, because I didn't even think about that. Like, I thought once they call a timeout, a referee's timeout, that like you can swap whatever because it's a timeout. But apparently, you have to keep the same players that are on the floor afterwards.
Interesting.
That's just smart. That's just smart coaching. That's guys who are paying attention.
Not Doc Rivers.
So, yeah. Also, shout out, good scheme, good playing, because I think they thought that I think on that last play when the alley oop to Ayton, I think they were trying to cover Booker. They were looking for the Booker shot.
Yep.
But obviously Jay Crowder just tosses it up by the fucking rim and he just slams it and like fucking 0.1
It's a good
seconds.
play call, man,
Just
because everybody's thinking Booker to shoot it, and then you just throw it up there, give it up to your biggest man, and then just dunk it.
So, you know, exciting game. Twitter was going off. I was fucking enjoying all the jokes, all the laughing. But to give Clippers maybe some, you know, I don't think it's completely over because we saw the Clippers down. They were down 0-2 in their last series, and you saw they came back. Like I said, they're the hottest team. If Hawks are the hottest team in the East, Clippers are the hottest team in the West because they, you know, they beat teams. I didn't think they're going to come out their series.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's weird. They're not like super hot where it's like, damn, they're putting up crazy points, but it's like they're getting their job done, man. And like I said, Paul George has been kind of showing up, honestly. Like, as much as we like to dog on Paul George, like he's actually been doing well without Kawhi there.
And that's
It'd be
another
nice
one
to
too.
have him there. It'd be nice to have Kawhi, but
Paul George, you know, you know, calling him Pandemic P, saying whatever, can't do it in the playoffs. It's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of like with Ben Simmons too. That's kind of like the reputation you earn, I guess. I still think
Ben Simmons actually sucks. Ben Simmons can never. I'll say Paul George. Ben Simmons is a quarter of what Paul George is. Paul George has actually shown that he's actually put a team on his back. If he's like a number one superstar on a team, I don't know. I think Kawhi is the true number one guy on that team. But Paul George is to me he will always be a complimentary superstar, and he can show up for you when necessary. But like he has, but you need another guy on that. I think having Kawhi on that team would make them way more dangerous, and it sucks that they don't. It'd be a way more interesting series because I really think they're about to get swept.
I think, you know, if the way the games are going now, I kind of predict the Suns to come out the West. But you know, I'm not gonna count them out completely yet. I mean, you know, if they had to win a game, it was yesterday because, like you said, CP3 is out. You think you see blood in the water. You know, there's definitely a game that you can split and go home. But you know, that just puts more pressure, more pressure for game 3. So I expect them to come maybe a 6-game series. I expect them to win a couple.
I don't know, man. I think they win one, maybe like at home. I really don't. I think they're on the verge of getting swept. I think to me, adding Chris Paul to that team that's already seems to be pretty dangerous. Like I said, if you can get another performance like that out of that Payne guy, and Aiden, and then like Devin Booker, and then you got that's a good team, man. That's and with the coach, I mean, it's a good coach makes a big difference. A good coach makes a big difference.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, yo, scheme is here. That's, you know, players perform, but the next matchup, this next game, you know, guys going off, maybe they have a lucky night, maybe they're hot. You can do that for a game, but what can you do for a series? So that's when I feel like coaching comes and plays a huge role. Like, okay, now you saw the game, you saw the film, where your weaknesses are. What are you doing to change? What are you doing to adjust to that? How are you, you know, making the other team weaker while highlighting your strengths? That's when, you know, I feel like coaching is the most important. Is the strategy going game to game. So I mean, we'll see how they come out on this next one. But who's playing tonight? Tonight is the East, right? That's the Hawks.
Tonight is the first game, and let's see how they match up. I think it's hard to tell right now without seeing the first game, but I think this game it's gonna be pretty big. I mean, you're going to Milwaukee, see how they perform. I think this is gonna be a big turning point. I think if the Hawks can show that they can compete in this game, I think it's going to go to Game 7. If they get kind of blown out, or just the Bucks are just too strong or too physical, then it's like it's probably going to end pretty quick. But I think this is going to determine how it's going to look like. I think this is going to, because I don't think the Hawks are going to let up. I don't think they're going to have like a down game. They haven't really had a down game. All their losses have been pretty close losses. It's not like they're getting blown out on any of these games.
That's the thing. The counter to that is, well, what about the other teams? Are they really blowing other teams out? Like, are they, you know, winning by the 20?
Well, no, they're not. But they're not built that way. That's what I'm saying. They're not built to. They're just not. They don't got enough power. They don't have enough weaponry to really compete.
Into the predictions for this game. Like I said, the Hawks, they're a smaller team. I think they're a small team, but they're a quick team. They have good scorers, but the Bucks have size. And you know, I think, you know, the Bucks.
I mean, you got
like they have scorers. Middleton's gonna score. Brook Lopez, he'll pull up from 3-2. So
you got Tucker. You got Drew Holiday, like who's probably going to be on Trae Young.
Yeah.
Like they got some
They
guys,
got a
man.
team, man. They got a little team, man. So I hope it's a shootout just like these other games. Like I said, all the games I've seen so far have been pretty close and exciting. But I think for the Hawks is they're gonna have to like control turnovers. Like you can't, it's gonna be hard like rebounding and stuff, but like you're gonna have to control like making dumb mistakes, dumb passes, just being quick, fast ball, fast breaks. I think that's gonna be the key to beating the Bucks. Like just beat them down the floor, like just fucking
Bro, it's
run
gonna
up and
be
down all fucking day.
it's gonna be cool too. I don't know if you saw. I saw the stat. It was like that. This is gonna be all 4 teams have not won a championship in the modern NBA league. The
it's like the
NBA
70s.
ABA merger, like the NBA ABA merger. Not any of these teams have won in the modern NBA era. So it's pretty awesome to see. Like we know somebody's about to make history, whether whoever it might be. And yeah, and when you really think about it, like these teams have never been historically good for like. I mean, when was the last time? Obviously before Giannis went there, but like the Bucks were like a no-name team. Hawks have always kind of been like a playoff team, but is never able to like finish it off. Same thing with the Suns with all those Nash years and Shaquille O'Neal, and the Clippers they're cursed. Like they've always kind of be a playoff team, but they can't do anything.
They're always little brother to the Lakers. So
yeah, I mean, there's always a team.
Yeah.
In those dual
exciting.
cities.
Yeah, it's exciting to see young new faces getting in there. Chris Paul finally getting into a final. I mean, Giannis was almost there. But Trae Young, a young player, it's exciting, like you said, to see kind of a change. I do kind of miss like. I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. It's like I wish it was LeBron and fucking the Heat and Jimmy Butler and the big names, but it's also nice to see new people like fucking join. But we'll see.
I'm tired of seeing LeBron in there, dude. Yeah. I'm tired of seeing LeBron. It's been like 10 years. It's been like 10. It's been like 10 years, dude. Like let's just some new guys in there. Especially like Chris Paul. Like even Chris Paul's probably the oldest guy out of all these 4 teams, and it's nice to see him in there, like actually like finally getting a chance.
I think he got drafted with LeBron, right? Because he was in that, and he was in that.
Yep,
LeBron,
the 03. That year was crazy. Wade,
the Banana Boat crew, right?
Yeah, Wade. Yeah, Chris Bosh, Wade, LeBron, Carmelo. Yeah, I believe Chris Paul was that year. If not, probably a couple years after that. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know those 4 were together.
So,
that was a crazy year.
Yeah. So that's our predictions. Looking forward to the games. Kind of rooting for the Hawks, but
real quick, speaking of the draft, they just did the lottery. It looks like the Pistons are going to get the first pick. First time in the top 5 since 2003, which is crazy because they've sucked for so long now. How have they not gotten the top 5?
I mean, Blake Griffin, right? When is he supposed to be the promising
Blake Griffin couldn't even carry the Clippers, man. Like he's a great player, or was a great player, but he wasn't even able to carry the Clippers those years.
No.
But
I don't know. Did you get the whole order too? Because I saw the only thing I saw was
yes, it's
Twitter. I saw the Pelicans. They got the number 10, and then I guess Swin Cash. I think she's an executive for the New Orleans Pelicans. She had like a face, like they said, "Oh, at number 10, the New Orleans Pelicans," and they like showed her, and she like looks pissed off on her face. She's like, she looks like mad as fuck. That's the only thing I saw from last night.
I know the top 3 is Detroit, then it's Houston, and then it's Cleveland.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with college basketball these past year and 2, but so I don't really know who's like the top guy coming in. I did see a couple mocks. Apparently there's a lot of good names coming out of the G League, like going in to the NBA that are supposed to be prospects. Like one guy's like 18 just coming out of the G League. Like that's super young. I mean, we haven't seen somebody that young since probably LeBron coming into the league. And I tell you, that G League, man, you hop in at 17, you play 1 year, and then you're in the fucking NBA. You're gonna start getting younger guys because, like, but we'll see. Like I said, I haven't really been keeping up with it, but I did see like 2 or 3 of the top like 6 or 7 guys are G League guys, and then some other like, one dude from Baylor, another guy from Gonzaga. But yeah, it doesn't seem like any big name guy. No, like heavy hitter.
Well,
which kind
we'll
of
probably
sucks for
cover more.
Detroit.
Yeah, when we'll cover more when I'll see what the Heat pick and what people say about the Heat's pick. But let's close it. Julian, you want to talk about kind of NFL preseason before because there's some odds that came out. Obviously, we're in the middle of training camp. Or mini camps. I'm sorry, that are going on.
Well,
right
I think
now.
they're in a break period right now until
Okay.
training camp. So they got like a month off, and then they're going to hit it at the end of July to the training camp.
So Julian has here pulled up some preseason odds. What
Yep.
is this? Is this from what book? Is this like Bovada or something? What is
This
Las
is
Vegas?
a FanDuel. This is
FanDuel.
FanDuel. I'll put it up so everybody can see.
You want to go division by division and just talk about overall what you think?
Yeah. So let me pull this up a little better so I can see.
I guess the odds are coming out now. Who are the favorites coming out of each division? We'll kind of just cover a little bit real quick, and then we'll end the episode. Just kind of stalling for time while Julian he has recording this, so I don't want to be dead air.
Yep. All right. So yeah, basically AFC East, we have.
The East is the Bills. Yeah, the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
We got the Bills at -150 as the underdog. There's only favorites. There's only 4 favorites or like minus favorites in the entire league, and the Bills are one of them.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are +310. Gabe, are you putting money on that?
+310. No, I'm not putting money on that because I think the Bills are a good team. They're
I'm surprised it's not higher. I feel like 300 is kind of low. I think the Bills are pretty heavy favorites.
So we got the Dolphins at 310, Patriots at 350, and then obviously the Jets are like 2,000.
Damn, they got the Dolphins doing better than the Patriots. You see that happening?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like who's the quarterback for the Patriots right now? Who's their starting running back?
Your boy, Cam Newton. Your guy, dude.
Wait, did they sign him back? Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, sign him back. It's him. We're gonna see what happens. Who actually plays between him or Mac Jones? Curious to see how that works out. I think Mac Jones is going to end up ending the season probably. I think Cam's done.
They always defer to the veterans until the guys get the handle the ball.
Yeah. But Jets plus 2,000. That's a good bet. But anyway,
that's about right. That's about right for the.
Then we got the AFC South, which is a little bit closer. They actually have the Steelers +440. That's not a bad bet. That's not a bad bet at all. You're getting the same team that already won the division last year. They didn't really lose anybody. If anything, they added by getting Najee Harris from Alabama in the backfield. But like they were able to retain all their players. They lost Bud Dupree, I think, but their defense is still good. They still got a really good defense. They're adding to the run game. Juju Smith came back. This is gonna entirely depend on the Ben Roethlisberger. So honestly, if you're looking to make some money. Yep. Okay. If you're looking to make the Baltimore Ravens are the favorites +115, then it's the Cleveland Browns +145, then it's the Pittsburgh Steelers +440. I think that +440, man, that's not a bad bet. It's not a bad bet.
Steelers, I mean, how much do you think fucking Roethlisberger got in the tank, man? Like,
yeah, but you got to look at the odds. You're +440. Those are pretty good odds for a team that realistically could win it. I think the Steelers have a better chance of winning it than the Dolphins. And like that's better. That's pretty good. Like I said, Pittsburgh, you're getting the same team back. The same team that won the division, that won 11-0.
I don't have the Steelers coming up.
I don't have the Steelers, but if I was to put money on something, I would put money on the Steelers because I like the odds.
Oh, you just like the odds, okay?
Yeah, like what's basis solely off the odds because that's what came out. So it's like what's like something you would like. You know what? That's good return. You could put some money on. Like you like the chances.
You're just like frivolous. I'm just spend money frivolously. I put it down 100, I get 440. Yeah. I guess. I mean, like I said, this was weird because last year, all 3 of these teams, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers, somehow were all in the playoffs together. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen. I kind of like the Browns in this division.
You like that +140 though?
I'm surprised they have the Browns being not good this year, or +150 to the Ravens.
I don't believe in the Browns because you look at that season they had last year. Their schedule was so easy. That's such a light cupcake schedule. I think the Ravens are the favorites. Like I think the Ravens will win, but I like that Pittsburgh plus 440 because I think Pittsburgh does have a shot. I think they're not
that's
a
another
bad
factor
team.
too. Is the schedule. I'm not looking at the whole schedule, so I don't
That's
know what
true.
the
Yeah.
schedules are. So, but I do know, whatever. In that division, I kind of like the Browns again this year.
You
No
put
love
money on the
for
Browns.
maybe in this division, yeah, the Browns.
But you think
All right,
would you put money on the Browns or do you have the Browns winning?
I got the Browns winning.
Oh, so you got
I
them
don't know if I
winning
put
and
money.
you would put money on it.
Let's see. You got to tease it, man. I got to coach.
Like I said, I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win it, but I like the odds for Pittsburgh. I like that plus 4-4. Now we're going to the AFC South. You have the Indianapolis Colts as plus 110. They took the edge over the Titans. The Titans are plus 115, even with Julio Jones. Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 700, and Houston Texans are plus 2,700.
Okay, so in this division, here I think I get what you're saying now as far as putting money down because it's I like the Titans coming out of this. I do like the Titans team. I know Julian, you're going to say otherwise, but this was it plus 145, plus 115?
Plus 115.
I don't think that's a good. Yeah, I don't think that's a good enough odds that I will put money on. But I do like the Titans in this division this year.
Yeah.
What say you, Julian? You going to put that 700 plus 700 for the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's better money than the Steelers.
Yeah,
you believe in that much?
I think there's a chance. I think it's a very slim chance, and I think that's just my optimism. But I truly believe that the Jags. I think we have a pretty solid. Like I said, the whole team's completely revamped. We've kept the players that were good on the team, so I think it's going to come down entirely to Trevor Lawrence and how the defense is going to play. I think that we had a revamped secondary. I think we got Shaq Griffin from Seattle. We got our first round pick, CJ Henderson from last year. Then we drafted another corner. We picked up a safety from San Diego, drafted a safety who led the whole ACC. He's from Syracuse that led the whole ACC in interceptions. He had 13 interceptions in 24 games, something crazy like that. We got a ball hawk. So I think they'd be good. I mean, I might put $20 just for the hell of it, just plus 700. But as the favorites, I like the Colts. I think the Colts are the more better overall team. I think the big X factor obviously is Carson Wentz, but I do like Wentz more than Tannehill. I think Wentz has had a better career than Tannehill. Tannehill's just been kind of coasting, just kind of not terrible, but just kind of average. And I think even with Julio Jones, but I think the Colts have a better squad. I like the Colts' defense. What scares me about Tennessee is their defense is ass. But to put money on it, just because the odds are slightly better, I'll take Tennessee. Just because the odds are better by 0.5.
And
now,
last one in the AFC
West, Kansas City, big favorites, minus 290. I wouldn't even put money. Yeah. I wouldn't put anything in this.
You put $290 to win $100.
I'm surprised they have the Chargers 500 and the Broncos 600. I think the only reason why the Broncos are plus 600 because there's a possibility that Aaron Rodgers is there.
It's traded.
And yeah, I think you're right. That's not bad odds because there's a pretty damn good chance that Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos. And if he goes to the Broncos, I don't think the Broncos are necessarily favorites, but they can win that division. With A-Rod, anything is possible.
And that's the weird thing because, well, if you look over, we'll get to the NFC, but the NFC have the Green Bay as a favorite right now. So I guess they're considering, with these odds, these numbers, they're considering that the roster is as is today.
What I think it is, because I think Green Bay would be, if Aaron Rodgers was locked in, that's going higher. I think they're keeping it 115 because it's on the fence. This is the same reason why this is plus 600. I think whatever gets locked in. So say Aaron Rodgers, he's like, I'm staying in Green Bay. They figure out something. They get their deal straightened out and everything. I think Green Bay's odds go higher. Lower. And Denver's goes higher. I think the only reason why because Denver is not a good team. And I think the only reason why they're 600 is because there's that possibility that Aaron Rodgers is there. And the only reason why Green Bay is not a heavier favorite is because Aaron Rodgers is still there technically. But
here's my take. That plus 500 for the Chargers, that is enticing. Although they are in the same fucking division as the Chiefs, That's going to be tough to get out the division. Because they got to play them twice. But that's interesting. The Dolphins is interesting because I think was it plus 300, Chargers plus 500. That would be an interesting bet. But as long as the Chiefs are healthy,
my thing is, I don't think the Chargers are going to surpass the Chiefs. The only one to me in this division that's interesting is the Broncos, just to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. So if somebody firmly believes that Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver, I would put money on it. Like I put like 50 whatever. Like it's not bad odds, and it looks like Aaron Rodgers is out of town, man. He looks like he's gone.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing anymore. All right, let's swing over to the NFC East.
NFC East, the trash ass division.
This is garbage, boo boo.
I like football team. I like football team plus 260. I like that. I like that bet. I do not think the Cowboys are the favorite. The Cowboys always find a way to lose. Always. No matter how good. But I like 260. Honestly, I kind of like New York plus 400 as well. Daniel Jones has got some weapons now. This is a prove it year for him because if he doesn't perform, like he's out of there. But he's got weapons. He's got a solid defense. He's getting Saquon back. Like New York plus 400 is not a bad bet, but I think you got to see. It all depends on how Danny Dimes plays. But I do like plus 260 football team.
A lot of the analysts I was watching last year, they're saying, "Yo, watch out for a football team because football team, they were calling
they're good, bro.
Last year.
They're good. That defense." Chase Young's a beast, bro. Young's a beast. And you got Fitzpatrick. I mean, obviously the quarterback situation is the big X factor, but that they have a good squad. And I like that 260. And I don't mind. I understand the Giants plus 400 because if Daniel Jones can come out of nowhere, that's great.
I got football team coming out the division, but I don't know if that 260, maybe. Let's keep going down.
All right. NFC North, like we were just briefly mentioning Green Bay minus 125. Like I said, I think that's only because they're not sure what's going on. Because I think as soon as Aaron Rodgers is out of there, I think they're going past. I think they're going third. I think Minnesota will be the favorites. Bears. I think the Bears plus 320 is not a bad bet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They got a good defense. They got some weapons. They have Andy Dalton, and they have Justin Fields. I think Andy Dalton kind of got screwed over. I think Andy Dalton's going to win you some games. I think he's better than Trubisky, and I think he's better than Nick Foles. Even if he doesn't play, I think Justin Fields is going to be pretty good. And if not, they have a good team there to help them. But I like the 320 there. If I had to bet, I like the 320.
The Bears look nice to me. I got the Bears, which I assume Rodgers not playing. I got the Bears coming out the division.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't trust the Vikings. They're so up and down.
I don't think Jefferson though on the Vikings.
The thing is, the Vikings. I mean, in all honesty, the Vikings only had one bad year this year. They might have a bounce back year. Kirk Cousins might bounce back, like you said. Justin Jefferson going in the second year. Obviously, you got Dalvin Cook, but plus 320 as a bet, like I think that's good because I think Aaron is out of there, and if Aaron's out of there, that team's gonna suck. All right, final division. Oh wait, no, never mind. Not second to last division. NFC South. We got the Bucks plus minus 195. New Orleans Saints plus 320. This is kind of a trash can of the division. I think the Bucks are going to win by a landslide. I wouldn't bet on any of these.
Yeah, I don't believe any of these teams. Falcons out of there. Saints. They kind of had
Saints. Here's the thing with the Saints. I think the Saints are good. Because they did. I mean, yeah, but like they won a lot of games without him, and Breeze wasn't necessarily playing that well that last season. Yeah. Breeze is arguably the reason why they actually got knocked out in the playoffs. Like they're winning games with Taysom Hill, and depending who's the starter there. But I don't like that. I don't like any of those odds. This I found very interesting. NFC West. They had the 49ers as the favorites. Plus 185 after just picking third overall, getting Trey Lance, and you're getting Jimmy G back. You are getting your entire defense is coming back healthy. Your Super Bowl defense is coming back healthy. But are they going to be the same as they were 2 years ago? Like, I get that like last year was just an injury plague year for San Francisco. They're a better team than what they actually were. But we'll see if like Bosa and all those guys can come back healthy. I don't trust Jimmy G. I feel like they might throw in Trey Lance. And
I think Trey Lance is gonna probably play most of the games this year.
you think
I think so. Why?
they got a good run
here,
game and they
let me ask
got
you a
good
question.
receivers? It's a good team. It's a really good team. I just
Let me
don't
ask you a
trust
question
quarterback.
because everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers to Denver. Why isn't nobody talking about Jimmy G to Denver? Like, why is that not part of the conversation? Like, if they have a good team and they're favorites, which obviously they're favorites to lead the division, why won't Green Bay trade Aaron Rodgers and get back some of their good players? Like, why hasn't I haven't heard anybody say that? Maybe
Wait,
because I haven't been paying
why
attention.
not Denver trade for Jimmy G?
Yeah, because they drafted Trey Lance.
They
figure he's gonna play.
because they have Jimmy G. It's fucking Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. The same fucking guy. The same guy. Jimmy G doesn't even throw the ball. I think he's more like Teddy Bridgewater. Like they barely couple check down Jimmy. Like they have that guy. It's Teddy Bridgewater and he's cheaper because you don't have to trade for him. Because you're trading for him, you got to take up that whole big ass contract that Jimmy G has. Jimmy G's just not good.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy G is a deep passing threat. I don't think he's proven that.
Dude, I mean, the freaking Super Bowl, he overthrew the fuck out of him. I forgot who the receiver was, but this is a very interesting division because you know what I like? The odds I love right now. I have two, but the ones I really love.
I'll say the Seahawks.
No, Arizona. I like Arizona. Plus 600. I like the plus 600. Those are pretty good odds because if they can win they can win the division. Seahawks have a very shaky defense. They don't really have a.
I don't know, man. You got the Rams too. I don't know, man. They got to play those teams 6 times.
But I'm talking about. I mean, I'm taking into consideration the odds. Remember that. Everything I'm saying is like, and I like the odds. I think the Rams are going to win the division. I think the Rams are going to win it. They have the number 1 defense. You got Matt Stafford now on that team. That team's about to explode and be their Super Bowl favorite to me, or a Super Bowl contender, I should say. But I think Arizona is going to be really good, and I think they could possibly squeeze it out and win the division. And I like that. I like the plus 600 odds. I like those odds. Those are good odds.
I'm sticking with the Bears. So in the NFC, I'm sticking with the Bears.
What do you mean the Bears?
To put money on. Like
to put money on. You like the Bears? What was the Bears? Plus 320?
Something like that. Because it was like
I like that.
In the AFC, even though I have, I would pick the Dolphins, but I don't have them coming out of the division.
I don't think they're beating the Bills.
I'm gonna go Titans in the AFC. Those are my 2 picks.
AFC's a little rough because the ones that like aren't possible, or it's. I think AFC, I'm taking Denver. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to show up, bro. That's big money right there. Aaron Rodgers shows up, that's going to be really close. I think I'll take Denver. I would have put my house on it. I'll put like a little bit on there.
Oh, you're going to put your house on that? Nah.
But I do like that. I think you have a higher return. I think, I could pick the Colts or the Titans, but you're not going to really get much out of that. I do like that. NFC... there's good ones in the NFC because, like I said, I like the Cardinals at plus 600. I like that one. I do like the Bears. I do like the Bears plus 320, and I like football team at plus 260. So basically, what I'm saying is I have to go for the big money. I like Arizona.
It's a trash football team. Is a trash division.
It's a trash division. I even like the Giants. I like the Giants at plus 400. I do like that. I don't trust the Cowboys at all. They've never given me a reason to trust them. I think if I was to put money on anything, I like Arizona, man. I think they can compete.
Wow. Put it down. Write it down, folks.
Like I said, I think Los Angeles is going to win the division. They're going to win it. But plus 600 is very enticing for a team that can win it. Like they can't think you got JJ Watt, man, old ass JJ Watt. Got Chandler Jones. They brought in AJ Green with D Hop. Got Fitzgerald coming back.
Retiring. He's retiring, right?
Nah, he's playing, man. He's got one more year.
Another year? My God.
Yeah, one more year. You got.
Anyways,
I think Kenyon Drake is still gonna be there. I believe.
Yeah.
And then you got Kyler, man. Like I like that team. I like them. They're good.
You heard it here first.
I like the odds. I'll say. I like plus 600.
He's got Cardinals coming out the NFC West. We shall see as we get closer.
My number two would be the Giants of the NFC, but AFC, I'll take Denver. I like that. I like
Alright.
plus 600.
So I think that's a good spot to end it on. Anything you're looking forward to this weekend, Julian? Anything in sports you're looking forward to? Any fights?
Actually, this Friday I'm going to the Inter Miami Orlando City game.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You told me.
Yep, they're doing a blackout, so like you wear black, and I guess it's going to do like a whole thing. I'm pretty awesome. It's going to be my first soccer game in a long time, and yeah, especially my first Inter Miami game. It's going to be full capacity, so it's going to be electric. It's going to be fun. I'm in the supporter section, standing supporter section, so it's going to be fucking wild. It's going to be awesome. So I'm pretty pumped for that. Hopefully they can play well, because Inter Miami has not been too good recently. But hopefully they can squeeze a win out, which they probably won't, because Orlando's a pretty good team. I know you don't follow MLS, but I've actually been really into it, and I haven't talked about it much because I know they don't have MLS doesn't get the views like we're only talking about topics that I know people want to listen to. I know nobody's going to want to listen to MLS, but I've been watching it and keeping up with it. And
I watched them in the beginning. I watched Inter Miami at the beginning of the season. I saw their season opener against LA, and I've seen a couple of the games, but like you said, they really haven't been winning or.
Our midfielders, the midfielders suck. I mean, our striker Higuain, he's not bad. He's pretty good. He came from Italy, Italian league. But I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome.
There's talks for Inter Miami that Messi might come. So if Messi comes, that
possibly it's going to come down to his contract with Barcelona. They're talking about a 10-year deal with Barcelona, with 2 of those years being loaned over to Inter Miami. And the owner for Inter Miami, Beckham and Jorge Mas, like they really believe that he's coming. And if so, like you got to bring him. You got to make a fucking team. You got to have that stadium built over in actual Miami. But it's going to be
come to watch that game. I don't have anything going on. Well, I'm going to Tampa this week, and then I'll be going on vacation. But I think I'm just looking forward to the playoffs. I've been watching Marlins baseball, but so they've had a couple good series. They haven't swept anybody, but they had a couple. Good series.
I've been seeing the record. They've not been playing well. It's not a good year for Miami sports, man.
Like 1-0, 2-0. It's like fuck, man. You guys.
Not a good year for Miami sports.
No. But anyways, that'll be it. Real Fans Podcast. I appreciate y'all checking us out. This was a shorter episode. JoJo's not here, but we don't want to miss another week, so we'll come back next week. Cover all the news: NBA, NHL, MLB, MLS.
Yeah, should be Stanley Cup next week.
Hockey. Oh, Olympics about to come up too. We haven't even talked about Olympics.
We haven't talked about, but I feel like I'm the only one that could talk about it. Is I've been watching Copa America and Euro 2020.
CONCACAF.
But CONCACAF is coming up. Gold Cup is coming up, and I will be talking about that because Costa Rica is going to be in there. Got to represent my national team.
There you go. Real Fans Podcast. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Listen to us. All the things. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Real Fans Podcast. Appreciate y'all. Peace.